Good. Now, what we're doing here is AI. And what we're going to do is this. I'll go through that in a second. But what you see here also is the previous webinar, which was quantum computing. And the reason I left it up is because it's still running. Here we see how it is still running because this time we decided to run on a real IBM computer, and it takes quite a lot of time to get to the real computer. But back to AI, here we are. And today on November 24th, we'll talk about Generative AI for Everyone, the new course by Andrew Ng. And I will show you what it is about, because I did mention when it showed up and didn't give it justice. I think it's worth it to look at a few excerpts, and then I will look at the practice of what I'm working on and what kind of problems you guys can expect when you're doing your real implementations. And I'll tell you all about that so that you don't get discouraged when you do your real implementations, because the real Pesca environment is much harder than canned labs, which always work. So I hope you see and you hear and all is well. And if I look at participants, maybe I can invite everybody to talk. Okay, so that you can speak up as much as I can, or if it doesn't work, then you can type. So here we are. Now, for that, I'll need to reshare. I'll need to stop share. Stop share. And now when I'm sharing again, I will include the sound. So I'm saying share screen, include the sound, so that if we see the lecture, we'll want to okay, I see that there are comments from Joseph James. Have comment on my assignment on the AI public package. That is very interesting. So where is the comment? Put the comment up here or speak up and discuss. It's okay to interrupt anytime.
Can you hear me?
Yes, very well.
Okay. I offered in the very first week, not knowing AI, as much as 95% of your audience, to look at the packages which were coming to be cost at individually $20
Yes,
a month.
I remember, but I didn't give you useful feedback. So do you have your own?
Well, I like to give to you and the group the option of working on an interactive spreadsheet to list the packages they've seen or worked with.
Nice.
And,
so
and
do
the
you want
cost,
to give that link?
and the costs, etc. I've
Yes.
not developed it. I just wanted to throw it out there for today.
Well, show us the link. Oh, you will develop it, right?
I can, with your input, put a spreadsheet together that would be a discussion point in the
Yes.
future meeting.
Right. Okay. So I think it will be good if you control this, and next time maybe you can put this link here and we'll start working on it. But it occurs to me now that it's a perfect segue into what we're going to do, because we are going to do pretty much along this line, not a list of packages, but here is Generative AI for Everyone. That's a course. So what I want to do is open that. Okay, the link is there. If you want to do it, it's there. What you need is an account.
Hello, sir. I'm so sorry.
Yes.
Mr. I came in a little late, so Are you a professor in this area?
You
Seems like,
can call me this way, okay?
or
Since
teacher, because it seems like you had a
I am
um,
a teacher.
syllabus type thing going on.
Yes, yes, I have to say that, I have to confess that in some way you can say I'm a teacher because there is a company, Elephant Scale, where I'm part of that, and we teach there, and that's not what I'm promoting at all. But since you asked, then these are the courses, and this is all that we teach,
Is it
and this is corporate to corporate training. So
corporate training? Okay.
yes, but what we're discussing on this webinar is how to get rid of corp to corp training and how to learn yourself.
Mm.
Is that your question?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm new to AI as well. Yeah. I haven't used it much, but
Okay, and that's good that you asked. So you'll have a comment on what we're doing, how does that fit? But what I'm doing here is just tell people about what's new, what courses out there, what are the news in general about AI. But today there are no real news. AI is back, kind of. That's the only news. And also what I am doing personally, uh, because that is something unique. Of course, I'm like everybody, I'm unique, but also because that's what is going on in real life. That's what I'm struggling with. These are the problems that I have, and I share that. So that makes it very live. That's why I would call it a seminar. All right, but back, we have a course, one of the courses from Andrew Ng. All of the previous courses were free, and you couldn't pay even if you wanted. That seems to be the first one where, yes, you can pay if you want, but still you start for free. Beginner level. And what's interesting about this course is that it's very, very beginner level. Anybody can take it. That's his idea. So to go to this course, you take the link, which I showed right there. Okay, that's the link right here. And I have an account there, but it's really free. So if I click on this go to course, then I will come to course. Now, yes, Joseph James, right. There are lots of news about Sam Altman and OpenAI, but it's kind of, there are lots of other sources that discuss it, and who am I to discuss it? I will only quote from one guy who said a bunch of clowns, but he himself probably is a clown. So that's all I can say. Now, this is what Andrew Ng, that is a completely Andrew Ng course. He does all the lectures, and I want to go to the very first one right here and show you a little bit of the introduction. But I will also go over what he wants to do in general. So let's do the introduction.
Welcome to Generative AI for Everyone. Since the release of ChatGPT, AI, specifically generative AI, has caught the attention of many individuals, corporations, and governments. It is a very disruptive technology that's already changing how many people learn and work. Many developers think that generative AI will empower many people and lead to productivity gains and also make a significant contribution to global economic growth. But there could be downsides as well, such as job loss or worse, that some people worry about. In this course, you learn what generative AI is, what it can and cannot do, and also how to use it in your own work or business.
I want to apologize for the obvious things, but there will be non-obvious things. That's why it's worth listening for a few minutes.
Because generative AI is so new, there is still a lot of misinformation out there. And so in this course, I hope to convey an accurate, non-technical understanding of what it really is, and also work with you to think through how you can best make use of this technology. This course does not assume any technical or AI background, and is designed to be useful to anyone in business, science, engineering, the humanities, arts, or other sectors. So with that, let's dive in. Generative AI had caught the mainstream attention starting around November 2022 when OpenAI released ChatGPT, and its momentum has continued unabated. According to McKinsey, it could add 2.6 to 4.4 trillion US dollars annually to the economy. Goldman Sachs estimates it could raise global GDP by 7% in the next decade. And a study by OpenAI and UPenn estimates that it could impact 10% of the work or tasks carried out daily by over 80% of workers in the United States. The same study also estimates that there is a 20% of workers whose work or task is more than 50% impacted by generative AI. And so studies like these lead to hopes for tremendous productivity gain, as well as worries about job loss through automation. What is generative AI? This term refers to AI, or artificial intelligence systems that can produce high-quality content, specifically text, images, and audio. One of the best-known generative AI or Gen AI systems is OpenAI's ChatGPT, which can follow instructions to carry out tasks like write 3 captions for a social media post about our new line of sunglasses for robots.
Okay, I think that's good enough because you can listen to it. You don't need me for that. But an interesting comment from Joseph James: destructive or disruptive? Of course, Andrew, he said disruptive because there are 2 schools. One school is that AI will kill us, but another school is that it is the boon to humanity. The people I work with, that is lawyers inside of KCFI, they usually say both. They usually say it will make us rich, but before that will kill us, or they say the other way around, that it will kill us, but before let's make ourselves rich. That is as far as your question, disruptive or destructive. But Andrew Ng, he belongs to the first school. The first school says that it will be very good for humanity, and we'll learn to deal with the challenges, but we'll get there. The other school is just the opposite, and both schools have a lot of what they can say. Now, I personally belong to the school that says it will be good for humanity, but it's just my opinion, and it's kind of, it will help us before it hurts us, right? That doesn't matter what I think. What does matter is that there are 2 schools, and there are very strong arguments both ways. But I think both schools will agree that it's too late to stop that. That is what is important. So the problem doesn't go away. Now let's look at continuation of the course. If we look at, that was week 1, but beyond week 1, and then goes 2 more weeks. Now of that, I think I saw that 3 courses, 3 lectures are free to start with, and the rest are not. But I think these 3 are representatives, and you can yourself, you can start learning with that. And I think by now I probably piqued your interest enough. Now I wanted to show you what is also in the other weeks. When he says 3 weeks, it's not 3 weeks full time. It's 6 hours total lectures. So he assumed you take all the courses and do all the exercises. That's where it comes in. So it talks about in the end, it talks about today and how exactly do you build it? Well, it's a well-known idea right here, and the idea is simple. ChatGPT is a great tool, but it's like a brilliant scientist. It knows a lot, but you cannot ask him to look at your cases. Um, I will answer the questions that you ask here in the chat after, but this is a general structure of how you deal with ChatGPT. So if you need to show it, let's say, a bunch of your documents, you can't. Even though you can upload one document, but it's unreasonable to ask about, here are 10,000 documents. Based on that, what's your opinion? It's like, talking to the lawyer, bring him a box of documents and say, now study this. No, it doesn't do this. Instead, it's you who do it. You put it into what is called RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation. And that's too grand of a term. All you do is put it into a search engine, your own private search engine, and it is a smart search engine. It doesn't just search by keywords, but it searches by meaning. For example, let us say you have an Enron, which is a famous big corporation that failed through fraud, and you want to say, well, is there any evidence of fraud? Well, so you get all the documents, 50 gigabytes of them, and you put them into this search engine. And then you search for, is there any evidence of collusion, let's say, of fraudulent email? And your search engine, it's scalable, it's not ChatGPT, it just answers your question, is there any evidence of collusion, by giving you relevant documents, by giving you relevant emails. Relevant means something about this, not anything, not keywords, which would be too much information, but very specifically these documents that have to do with collusion, maybe mentioning the word collusion, but it does it in a smart way. That's called syntactic search engine. And our search engines today, by the way, are changed. They are not keyword search engine. They understand what you're saying. So that is called retrieval augmented generation, or RAG. After that, you send that to ChatGPT. That is what Andrew is describing here. And then I'll show you how I do it. But the important thing is that it hasn't changed for a while. I think that's pretty much the prevalent architecture. When you build something on top of ChatGPT, you do it with this architecture. First, put it into a syntactic search engine, and after that, you ask your real question. So all of that is good to know. Let's see, can we see the beginning?
We've already seen that prompting a large language model can take you quite far. But there's a technique called Retrieval Augmented Generation, or RAG, that can significantly expand what you can get an LLM to do by giving it additional knowledge beyond what it may have learned from data on the internet or other open sources. Let's take a look. If you were to ask a general purpose chat system, such as one of the ones on the internet, a question like, is there parking for employees? It might.
Okay, so since I'm going to show pretty much same ideas implemented in my case, then we're not listening anymore. We stop it right here. And what was the order that I promised? I said, we'll first look in Casify, and then we will look in combining keywords and search. So I will show you the latest, and my rule is that demos never work, so it shouldn't work, but if we're lucky, maybe it will. So first of all, we're going to the test environment in Basify. We log in there. And the general structure is that these are the cases. You see, the cases that lawyers deal with, and they upload additional documents. Like, let's take this case. These are the documents that are coming to those lawyers from the district office, GA, district attorney office. They can be a charging document like this. And by the way, you see, that is, you can use it as a text, but sometimes it's a piece of paper and you cannot use it as a text. Now let's look here. There you are. No, you can. So sometimes yes, sometimes no. That's the practical problem you are dealing with. But in any case, when you go to the AI portion, here you're saying that take all my documents, and build an index, meaning rank, meaning that is what I want you to do. Take all the documents, and it gives me the status that it has already done it. There were 6 files. So I can ask who are the people involved in the case. And I misspelled, but it understands. It's okay. In the he case, not he, but the case, it says these are the people. That's because it knows these documents. All right, I can rebuild it, but that's not what I'm interested in. I can continue asking. And I have added memory here. So if I said, for the people, then Eric Perez, what did I ask before? How about that? What did I ask? Doesn't even remember what we were talking about. Isn't it wonderful? I think it's not working, and that's great. So what I do is making a snapshot and saying, hey guys, that's an error. And later on, I'm going to send it and make them work on it. But meanwhile, let's refresh. And let's go here. And note that I have added more information. What is CalCRIM? This is California instructions for the jury. Now, I'm saying when you answer my questions, then take that knowledge into account. And now I'll try to say, one for the innovation action about well, they don't really talk about this. How do jury instructions apply in this case? Now, it takes longer to think because it's looking at all the jury instructions, 2,000 pages, and at the same time, it's looking at the case. So it's about 2 times longer. Now, there's a famous joke about lawyers that lawyers charge by the minute and they speak slowly and write slowly. That's not applicable here because that thing doesn't charge by the minute. But still, it takes it some time. So let's see.
Mark, I will ask,
Uh-huh.
just like
Hey,
in
bro.
Google, the right verbiage of the question greatly assists in the response.
Yes. It does, right? So here too, but right now we're dealing with the technical problem. But doesn't matter. What's important is that that is an example of this reg architecture where you take all your documents, convert them, because TextGPT only deals with text, and OCR them, optical character recognition. And even there, still, it's not perfect. So what I'm working on is a different application, which is an open source application, and which has to do with similar areas, and that is called Freed. So let's do this. Well, I will probably stop that and stop all, then we'll 3279. That's what I promised to you, that it will be very real and some things won't work. And now let's start it all again. So what I'm starting is the complete system, and that brings up this window. In this window, I also deal with cases. Here they are. And there are two parts to this. First of all, search. Do I ask for search? Yes. Second, AI advisor here. So if we're dealing with this case, we can go and review. Let's look at the review. That's the review for my screen. And what cases do I have? This case. What can I search for? Let's say I search for everything. Start. Just show me all the documents. Okay, we have 5 documents. And we see here some kind of Enron email. And there's more to this. I see Melissa has to do something with that. But it still leaves a lot of stuff for me to do. That's regular search, nothing unusual. So I go here and I say, and right now the AI is only here. Later on it will be in there instead of search, or with the search it will also say AI. But now I can ask, what were you saying about Melissa? What is Melissa? Now let's run it. Oh, it's completely broken. Very strange. Okay, I promise broken. No problem. I have another way how I can show it. Okay, so projects. Let's look at small project. And here's AI advisor. So that would index it, but here is what is Enron? I don't understand. It broke. Okay. I promised broke, it broke. But what it does, it goes through all these documents and it adds AI to the search. So now you have this search going together with AI, and it will be added here. Again, the same architecture, the reg architecture. You put it into the syntactic search engine. It gives you thousands of documents that are relevant, sorted by relevancy. And you give it 5, 10, 20, that's up to you. And then the ChatGPT gives you the final results. Well, that is what I wanted to show. As here, I promised it will be, first of all, new stuff in Casify, and there we're dealing with the sizes. You know, when you just talk to ChatGPT, there is a lot of magic going on, and it's all hidden. All you do is talk to ChatGPT. So let's look at an example. Now it added a few things. We remember it added the capability to load an additional document, but that's really only one document, and it has to be PDF. Now, in real life, you have all kinds of documents. You don't want to release them to the ChatGPT. You might have promised that to your client, but most importantly, it's only one PDF. I tried it. I think it's about 200-page PDF. That's all we can do. But dozens of them, thousands of them, that's no. So it is a very nice program. It remembers what you said. What is my name? It doesn't know. But if I don't use my name, it's not. Okay, what is my name now? Now it knows. So that's because there is a lot of magic between this browser and the real ChatGPT. Okay? And that is what it can do. The same way in built-in your applications, there is a lot of magic, and some of it is massaging the documents, PDF, OCR, but another thing is scaling. Even they have big problems scaling, even their big team. We also have problems scaling, and it turns out that on one machine it works, but on multiple it doesn't, and then we put it into a scalable environment in AWS, and then it runs out of files, it runs out of threads, and we just finished tweaking all the parameters, and now it works. That's what I wanted to share with you. When you are adding history, when you're adding multiple sources of knowledge, and when you're asking real users, and that's important, to do it. Well, first of all, as you saw, it breaks once in a while, but scalability is another issue you deal with, and that smart users is another. When I put together the instructions for the jury and want to ask a question, I have no clue what the lawyer will ask. And he will ask some very clear legal questions as to what did the jury do wrong, what did the police do wrong. And for that, you need the real people users. And that's what ChatGPT have done. You remember that they said, oh, we wanted to hit the humanity in the face with this tool, which they did. But what they didn't say is that and we want to see what kind of questions the humanity will ask, because that means humanity is used as a teacher. Now, of course, then there are guarantees about that. No, we're not taking your documents, but it does learn a lot. So do I. I really need real lawyers. So yes, I gave them the test environment, yes, but they didn't test it on the test environment, and they said, Mark, just release it and see what the real users begin to ask. And that is what I needed to do. That's one thing that you need to do in real life. And another thing is that just broke. And I tested it a minute ago before we started, and it worked. So I need to find out why. But it just broke. But what I need is combine the search technology, which is old-fashioned, not popular, but sometimes it's very useful. For example, let's say you're a lawyer, you're dealing with the DUI, right, driving under intoxication case. And what was the guy's level of alcohol in his blood? And you know that the document should have it, but the AI doesn't get it. So what you do is you do a regular keyword search, because that maybe if you search for level of intoxication, you'll just find it. So that's why you need the combination of search and AI, and that works best to answer all of your questions. So going back to the real life, it's Google is doing keyword search, even though it has all of the AI added. But keyword search is still important. Now, Microsoft with Bing and with the other searches, it's doing mostly AI search. In my personal life, I'm using AI nonstop. Here, these are all the questions that I was asking, because it's much better to just ask it. Let's say you're looking for a piece of code. So a piece of code, you want to know what's the difference between this way, empty, and is blank. Well, ask ChatGPT, it's much better than Google that, because Google that relies on somebody who has written exactly your question's answer. And who knows if somebody did it to know. But ChatGPT just gives you the answer. So you see why ChatGPT is so much better. But it's just a different philosophy. Looking for the keyword search is also very important. All right, with that, I can go to look at what I promised. And I promised a new course. You have the link. You can go take the course. You saw what it is about. And I'm sure some of you will take it. So if you do, please report it next time. And then I promised all of the messy, get your hands dirty details. And I did that too. In fact, very messy, very dirty. They didn't work. But other than that, I think we are good. So I will stop share and give you a chance to talk. Okay,
Mark,
yes.
I haven't fully utilized this, but the concept of workflow or decision tree, as you go through these practices of demonstration, again, I can offer to do it myself, but develop a workflow and a decision tree. When this blocks you, you have these other options. And then
I have a suggestion, Joseph. Maybe you write it down, because you mentioned that you cannot, don't have yet as a formulation. So why don't you write it down, prepare a picture, something like that, and then we will discuss that. Okay. Sridhar, your question is, can you use RAG to generate private LLMs? No, it's two different stages. RAG is an architecture to use an LLM. So private LLMs is an interesting thing. It's a whole big discussion. First of all, there are private LLMs. For example, Llama 2, that you can run on your local hardware. Of course, that's limited, but at least they exist. And I'm going to have a need for them, because that technology that I showed you, free, it might be implemented in a closed local environment. So that is where I will know more about Llama. Does it do it or no? And which other private models are there? That's the private models. Now, in addition, ChatGPT allows you to create new models. There are ChatGPTs that they advertise, but that's not private. And RAG is an architecture that allows you to first ask your syntactic search engine about what's the relevant knowledge in your set of documents, and then ask an LLM. Okay, was that a question that you asked? Let's assume that it was. Okay.
Thank you, Mark.
Very welcome. So what I suggest is that question or desires for the action. So if you have anything like that, then you will write it. You can always send me an email. I think that you can. I run it as an elephant scale, so elephant. That's my email, and you can always write me with your questions. And right now, I want to wish you a great weekend and a great week ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sorry,
You're welcome.
question.
Yes.
I'm sorry, the question for yourself or anybody here. I guess the best source or way to learn AI, like what did you,
Well,
because
today I showed Andrew Ng course. That I think, if you haven't started,
yeah,
that is probably I'm not sharing. 1 second.
my microphone's kind of messed up, so I couldn't really hear
Yes,
everything.
yes. So first of all, you need that link. It talks about everything that we discussed so far.
Coursera.
So I'm going to chat, and I'm giving you the link,
Or
except that everybody here. That link contains everything, and we've been running for a year. That particular Coursera is the one I would say is the best to start with, but you might not want to spend 3 weeks, so you will look for all other courses, and one of them is somewhere here. At the top. Recommended. So you see at the very top, that's the link, and I open that. That's everything that I know about. And again, here, you will start from 0. Then you can go and look at the ChatGPT prompt engineering. That is still not involving any other technology but ChatGPT, but talking to it from your script, not like everybody's doing from the browser. That's common ways, but the developers, they do it better. And after that, there will be a system that you can build. For example, how do you first ask all your documents and then ChatGPT? It's right here. So I gave you the major link. This one. And from there, you can have other links, especially that one at the top. Now, that was correct that he advertised, but that's already gone. And that's good. So again, I'll stop sharing, and everybody, thanks for coming. Oh. No more desires. Okay, well, great, guys. Thank you very much for coming. Be well. All the best.